Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday and it's the 10th of February, and I'm calling this Weighty Wednesday. Maybe a bit of a kind of odd word, but I was thinking that instead of a frosting of snow now, which was I think on Monday across the ground, it's now deep snow and deeper in many areas, quite deep in my area, but it's not as pristine as it was because we've got footsteps and people, cars creating patterns and things with their tyres. So it might seem a bit odd calling it a Weighty Wednesday, but I was thinking that our minds have been very weighty over the last weeks, months, even since last year. But the snow, I think the falling of the snow and the deep snow actually just lifted some of that weight, and we started just making snowmen. They were out. I could hear all the happiness and the laughter. People, some of them snowboarding. There was snow fights. Everybody socially distancing. I was watching, and if they were in their bubble, that was fine. But other people were staying apart. And you could hear the laughter and some of the noise, and it brought back some sense of normality. I mean, even schoolwork, I think, was forgotten about, and just let's get outside and play. So that was in the minds of, I think, the children and the adults alike. So just in case the snow doesn't last, and there's still some time, of course, until spring, then I thought that we would need some tips on how to kind of offload your mind and just feel a bit freer. So there's a few tips, and again, as always, they're quite repetitive, but then that doesn't matter, because if they're repetitive, then they create a good habit in you, and hopefully you take them on board. I mean, you can take a horse to water, you can't force it to drink. So if I give you tips, then you need to follow through on them. And we're not a superhuman, neither am I. We can have our down days, our down moments, but you can turn these around. So the first one is rest and sleep. Now, I've often talked about taking breaks, especially if you're working from home. And of course, it's essential to get enough rest. But there are many who might not be working from home, or they've even lost their jobs. And of course, all you want to do is maybe sleep all day. What's the point in getting up? Why should we bother getting up? And that's really difficult. So on that note, I don't want you to be sleeping every day all day, but sleep late if you want to. There's nothing wrong in that. I mean, it depends. Sometimes some of us work better late at night, or we think better late at night. Others are early morning people. I'm a kind of late person, and I don't mind if something comes to mind. And I think even when I was writing my books, I thought I could start easily at 11 at night and work on through. So when I wasn't getting up in the morning, and other people were, I was kind of beating myself up and saying, why am I not up? But then when you think about it, sleeping late, I was still getting a good few hours sleep. So don't beat yourself up about this. Of course, if you're sleeping every day, all day, and not wanting to get up, it can be a sign of depression, and you do need to seek professional help. But for most of us, walking about in our pajamas, or jammies as we call it here, and just having lazy days, there really is nothing wrong with that. Rest is also vital for reducing stress and, of course, improving your overall well-being. Now, another tip is reading and other interests. Now, I want to say here that just because everyone on social media and everybody around you is talking about what book they're reading, what hobby they have, what film they're watching, and you feel you need to follow, so you start reading or you start watching the film. If the book or the film or the hobby is not interesting you, just stop. Now, I know you've heard me saying never quit, but this is a different kind of stopping. If these things don't interest you, then, within 10 to 15 minutes, don't plough on. We all have different tastes. Just stop. I mean, I'm a great one. Sometimes I think my son recommended a film one day and I thought, oh, this is absolutely fantastic. It wasn't for me. And I did actually try to follow it through, but you're wasting energy. You're forcing yourself to do something you really don't want to be doing. It's wasting your time and it's wasting your energy, and it stops you from doing something that you maybe really want to do and that you like. And it can be something simple like just get outside, just walk in nature, be very careful just now because obviously it's icy and you can be falling. No matter what age, children maybe like falling. I think when you're getting a bit older, even teens, you don't want to be falling, maybe break a leg, and that's you increasing all the work that maybe hospitals have to contend with just now. The other thing is just be yourself. Now, I was thinking this particularly of me. I've been invited to be a guest on the America Tonight radio show by Kate Delaney, who's a Globe and Emmy Award winning broadcaster. And she heard about my books, and it's interesting that America first, before Scotland or England or whatever, or Britain. But here we go, there's about 26 million listeners apparently, so who knows what will come of that. But I started thinking, even worrying about, what will I say, what will I be like? And then I reminded myself, as others have said to me, just be yourself. So I think that's the main thing. Don't try and be anyone else, and you'll connect with people. People kind of recognise that authenticity. And of course, remember, you have got choices. Whatever choices you make, it's your choices that you have to live with, and you have to live with these choices. But if it turns out to be a mistake, then learn from them. Learn from these mistakes and just move on. The other tip when we're taking the weight off our minds is turn up the music. Start your day listening to music, something that lightens your mood. Now, there's different people like different types of music, I'm not very keen on some music, others will like what I don't like. It's whatever suits you. Turn up the music. But there's a wee proviso here. Try and remember, if you're living in a flat or living with people round about you, you're not isolated in the sense of a detached house. Please try and remember there are other people around you, and they maybe don't want to listen to your music. One good way, if you do have a car, you can get out in your car. Now, I would suggest maybe somewhere quieter on a quieter road, and you turn up the music. Difficult when it's icy and icy roads. But again, I'm never in favour of if I'm in the car, I can hear music from like 6 cars back. That must be damaging that person's ears. So maybe not that. When I say turn up the music, just a bit. Let it lighten your spirits for the start of the day. This one I've talked of often. Please remove negative people from your life. Don't engage with them. Now, you've heard me say this so many times, and of course people will say to me, oh, but I live, there's 6 of us in a room, 10, some people are living in maybe a room and kitchen, there's all these people. One person is bound to be, maybe nearly, we can't avoid it, going to be negative. So they're sucking up your energy, you're drawn into their negative thoughts, and as soon as that happens, that little voice in your head, that inner voice, starts to be negative, and you need to turn it off and turn it into something positive. And so many people say to me, the first words when I'm telling them something will be, I can't. Now, I can say to them, you need to just turn these 2 words into I can. But, use your affirmations. I can. And if you can't kind of move too far away from these negative people, take yourself off to the little room and at the bathroom, just a moment or 2 just to breathe. Now, remember to praise and encourage yourself. So many people don't do that. We beat ourselves up when something goes wrong. But when something goes well for you, praise yourself, encourage yourself, reward yourself with a treat, and celebrate that achievement. Add it to your achievement board. I hope you've got your achievement board. That should be close by. Mine's just behind the computer. And you can keep adding to that. Maybe you've called it an inspiration board. You might have a separate inspiration board. So then add to your what inspires you, even people. Cut out, it doesn't need to be words. Cut out pictures, posters, whatever, and make it your own. Limit your time with electronic devices. Now, it's one I need to take to heart myself, because I do tend to be on the computer a lot, but it's necessary if I'm marking papers and things. But try and limit your time with electronic devices and TV, and you're constantly at your phone. Of course, I love you watching and listening just now. Please do that just now, but not 24 hours a day. And of course, I said this on Monday, but another tip is let it all out. It's so important to get your thoughts and your concerns off your chest. Don't let them consume you. Punch that pillow. You just really need to get the angst out. I'm fortunate I've got a car, so I can take myself up and out in the car and scream or shout or sing at the top of my voice. Nobody needs to listen. So wherever you do this, try and be alone when you're doing this. But it's fabulous. It lets it all out and you feel free. Another one I often say is find a happy moment in every day, a fun moment, a funny moment, and create a happy place, a happy space for you, even in your home where you can be alone. Now that's difficult if you're all living together again. Maybe take yourself off to the bathroom, the little room. If you've got a bath, maybe that's when you can relax in a bath and just take time out for yourself. That's your happy, safe place. And if you can't do any of that, you can take yourself off to a safe place in your head. And I'll be doing a safe place meditation later. I'm going to give a wee wave, whatever these are for. I never know what these are for. Somebody will maybe tell me. Bringing them on camera. It doesn't mean I think I still see that somebody's watching. I don't know what it does. Anyway, somebody can tell me. Private message me or post up what these do. And now, on Monday I also talked about lists. Now, most of us probably do have lists. I tend to, if I'm making a list of shopping, I'd forget to take it to the supermarket. Then I just buy randomly, which is really silly. You buy more and you go home with things that you actually didn't want, and the things you wanted you've forgotten about. Anyway, when you're making lists, try to make them realistic. And it can be difficult, because to be realistic, depending on each day, each moment, you might only get 2 things done. So a list of 10 is not going to be any use. But don't beat yourself up. Even if your list is 10 and you get to night time and you've done 2, then don't beat yourself up. Praise yourself for what you did do. These were the 2 tasks you were supposed to do. And of course you can always reschedule the other things. And now remember, I think I did a live video quite a wee while ago about being able to say no. Now that is difficult for me. I think at one point I kind of thought I was superhuman and I could do everything all the time for everybody. So you need to learn to say no. Now you might want to go back and listen to that video. But in short, what I mean is you don't want to overextend yourself. It's all very well helping people, but don't do something, don't do something if you really don't want to do it. Because you need to kind of take care of yourself and be careful of that. Don't overextend yourself just to please others. There are a lot of people pleasers about, and I'm probably one of them. I'm maybe still that. Try and kind of balance it a bit, because it's very difficult, and you run yourself ragged, and suddenly you find yourself, you can't even look after yourself. So what's the point? You wouldn't then be able to look after anyone else. So this leads me to the kind of taking time for you. Spend some time alone every day. Now, again, I've spoken about this, and people will say, that's impossible. I've got 4 children, 6 children with me. I've got the husband, everybody's working from home, or they've lost their jobs. Everybody's negative, and it's all gone round and round. So you need to try again, the little room in the house, really, a moment in the small bathroom, the toilet or whatever, just to take 3 deep breaths. It's spending time alone. I don't mean an hour, I don't mean 2 hours, a couple of minutes just to calm your mind, and it really helps. Now people say, oh, that's impossible, I've got children. Now children are very quick to learn. Probably we don't credit them with the intelligence, actually. Most of them have. So you need to teach them, look, Mummy, daddy, auntie, whoever's looking after them, I need a little time on my own here. I'm just going off to the bathroom. Now, obviously, if they're tiny, you don't want them to be injuring themselves. So another thought is that teach them meditation. Teach them to have a quiet moment. So just say, we're going to sit together today and just learn to breathe, the deep breathing. They probably already do it as babies and dogs and animals. They do it naturally. And it's as if it's knocked out of us as we grow older, unless we take like drama classes, music, singing, yoga. We are taught this kind of breathing. But, you can just sit quietly and again, I think some of the meditation tapes are maybe half an hour or more. Now, our attention span is decreasing. So I find even it's no use to me, these things that are half an hour or more. I'm either off to sleep or I've forgotten about, or my mind just starts to wander. That's why I created my Mind Bites, because they're 2 or 3 minutes. They're not long, but extremely effective. It's all you need. And the children probably would welcome that. You can just close your eyes and say to the children, 3 deep breaths. Think of something that you like doing, a happy thing, and just think of it in your mind. And afterwards you can maybe talk about what actually they'd been thinking about. And that kind of leads into the other tip, talked about it often, be creative. And of course I've got 2 books on that, Resilience and Courage. That's the key to endurance, because creativity builds resilience, and of course it helps reduce stress, and it also helps healing. And of course the other one is Changing Seasons of Life. That one's doing quite well, that book, because it's your creative journal. And of course you can get them on Amazon, but if you want a signed copy with me giving a wee message, please just email me or head off to my website, mindcircles.co.uk. And of course back to fun, funny moments, happy moments. I think one of the things that people talk about often, the children, particularly young people, they're being homeschooled, they're at home, they've lost this kind of maybe the socialisation with friends, and the last thing you want is in a few years to say, oh, I remember that dreadful time when we were at home, we were stuck in all the time. So try and make this time something that they remember to be a time of fun. Some children were interviewed, and the ones that were kind of upbeat were, it was great, we actually had time to spend with our mum, our dad, our uncle, whoever was looking after us. And that was really more important to them. They were bonding a bit more, because when we're at work, children at school, if you go back to a time when we called normality, we were probably so busy doing that we missed out on living. So try and think of living and having fun. So again, it's one of these things. I'm talking about children and people in homes. Now there's some people who are alone, some people are living with another partner who's maybe negative. Some people are living in a room and kitchen, we would call it, with 6 or 7 people. So just remember, we're not all in the same storm. They often talk about, oh, we're all in the same storm. That is just not true. We're not in the same storm. And even in different boats, we're all different. So even if we were all on a yacht, all in a rowing boat, each one of us is different, and we will be experiencing these times in different ways. So just be kind, be grateful for what you have around you. And it's all these small things, and having moments of kindness really helps, and it lifts the weight of your mood and the weight of your mind. And of course, use my ABC regularly. I want it to become a good habit. They're psychologically effective techniques. They reduce stress, they reduce anxiety, and they improve overall well-being. So just quick tips. The hardest bit about them is, somebody said to me, oh, these are so easy and quick, they can't be of any use. Well, that's true if you don't practice them. The hard bit is practicing them regularly so that they become a good habit. And of course, for something to become a habit, now we all know how to create bad habits. We repeat them every day. But it's the same for a good habit. We need to repeat it every day. Now, there's different research. Some people say 28 days, some people say 30, some 60 even. I kind of just go for the in-between, the 30-day rule. So if you repeat something every day for 30 days, it can become a habit. And I hope that's the good habit. So doing my ABC. Now, the difficulty here is that you have good intentions. We all have. Sunday night, I'll start my diet on Monday. I'll start doing this on Monday. And we last for Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, even maybe for the week. And then Saturday comes and we think, oh, I'll start again on Monday. Well, actually, you have to start your 30 days again. That's what's hard about it. But if you do these things when you're brushing your teeth or combing your hair, and they're a couple of minutes. So as somebody reminded me the other day when I was on a call with them, that I did a video on the parrot. I think it said, I love you, I love you. Well, if you start doing that, telling yourself, I love you, you need to be loving yourself before anyone else. So just in the bathroom, nobody's there. Well, there might be, but take a time when you're alone, look in the mirror and look in the windows of the soul, look at your eyes and just say, do you know what? I love you. I love you. And it's really absolutely, there's Linda, thank you Linda, just give a wee wave. So it really lifts you. So try doing that. So for today, I'm going to do the affirmation we're going to see is, what can we say today? Dave is good at that, right? Come on, come up with an affirmation. What I would say, I am free. I feel good. The weight is lifted from my mind. So everything that's personal to you, positive, and present tense or just anything like that, just is an affirmation and it lifts you. And of course the breathing, please do the breathing. It calms, it relaxes, but it also energizes you. And what more can you want? Taking 3 deep breaths. So, and those of you who have a dog, watch how they breathe. That's the kind of effective breathing. So today, the creative imagination, the creative imagery, that's one of my Mind Bites mindfulness meditations I'm going to do, is the safe place. Now, you can take yourself off to your safe, your happy place in your mind anytime you want. You can do it anytime, any place, not while operating machinery and not while driving. But if you're operating, doing monotonous jobs like repetitive machinery or driving, if there's a break, a stop, perhaps at traffic lights, or you have a break, that's when you can do your breathing. Just take 3 deep breaths. So for this morning, remember, try not to slouch. We're not slouching and we're not kind of getting ourselves into that kind of negative, sad way. Just lift your shoulders, not stiff. You don't want to be you want to have that confidence. So it's a straight back but not stiff. So just shoulders kind of back, sit comfortably in a chair and your feet on the ground. You're grounding yourself. You're going to take yourself into that present moment. So a safe place. Now what I want you to do is take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale slowly through the mouth. Now I want you to imagine a place you like to be. It can be anywhere. Somewhere you like to go, to dream or just sit. Now imagine your surroundings. All around you is quiet. You feel safe. This is your safe place. No one can enter unless you want them to. You are comfortable there, just being there. You have no fears when you are there. You feel free from anxiety. You feel relaxed. This is your safe place. Remember this safe place. You can take yourself there anytime you want or need. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale slowly through the mouth. Take another deep breath in, and as you breathe in, feel the safeness of this place flowing through your mind and body. And then exhale slowly through your mouth. Now you can open your eyes and you say to yourself, I am calm, I have no fears, the weight is lifted from my mind, I feel safe and secure. And then you can just relax your shoulders, sugar them as we say, and maybe have a stretch or a yawn, and that's just bring yourself back into the present. Now, it's as quick as that. That's just a couple of minutes there, and you should feel much better in yourself. Now, I'll be back on Friday, live video, Friday morning, 10 o'clock. I don't have a title for it yet. I'm not sure what I'll do. If you've got a suggestion for a title, please let me know. I'm running out of titles. I'll try and think about what I'm going to say. Some of it will be repetitive again, but post it up in social media or private message me. And of course, if I choose your title, you get a wonderful hour's call with me to talk about whatever you want, confidential. And of course, 2 tips. Smile, it costs you nothing. Laughter is the best medicine, costs you nothing. And virtual hugs to all. When you're watching and listening to me, it inspires and motivates me, and I hope that does the same to you. So have a fabulous day, and wherever you are, I know it's quite as sunny here, although there's snow, but I think having the snow kind of brightens up the daylight. You're looking out, it's a bit brighter. So have a fabulous day, and speak to you all on Friday. Virtual hugs. Thank you.